So, a friend of mine and I were doing Bible study this morning. And anytime we do Bible study, we always have two translations open, the scriptures and the CSB. So, we were studying Psalm 64, which took us to Isaiah 28, and then we ended up in Hosea chapters 5 and 6. So, I was reading chapter 5, and then once I got to the end, I flipped over to chapter 6, and I was like, wait a minute, this chapter has not ended yet. Now, initially, we were only going to read chapter 5, and that was it. But then I get to the end of chapter 5, I said, wait a minute. This is not the end of a sentence. There is a comma here. I flipped the page and look at chapter 6. I thought chapter 5 was going to continue. It did not. So then we flip over to the CSB translation and we see something wildly different. Let me show you. So this is Hosea chapter 5. We get to the end. I shall go, I shall return to my place until they confess their guilt and seek my face. In their distress, diligently search for me and say, how are we in a new chapter? Why was the chapter split like that? And it goes on to say, come and let us turn back to Yahuwah, for he has torn, but he does heal us. He has stricken, but he binds us. Now, in my mind, this goes back to my video that I recently made when I talked about how chapters and verses were added way later to the scriptures. And this is a prime example of arbitrary divisions because it just randomly decides to divide the chapter right there in the middle of something that's being said. So here we have the CSB. I will depart and return to my place until they recognize their guilt and seek my face. They will search for me in their distress. A full stop. Then we get to chapter 6. Again, arbitrary division. This makes it seem like it's something completely different, which also causes misinterpretation. Come, let's return to Yahuwah, for he has torn us and he will heal us. He has wounded us and he will bind up our wounds. Now, granted, yes, this is the same thing that the scriptures Bible says. However, this part was a continuation of this part. They made these two separate things that causes misinterpretation and taking things out of context. Now, note here it says, in their distress, diligently search for me. However, you get in here, it does not say that. Now, why is this important? In the scriptures Bible, it is saying that you have to diligently search for Yahuwah and also what you have to do, the things you have to say. But when it comes to the CSB, it makes it seem like all you have to do is seek for him. Not diligently, just seek him. And that's it. You don't have to say anything, you don't have to do anything. Isn't that also what the church teaches? That all you have to do is believe and he will answer your prayers. That all you have to do is say that I believe and you will receive salvation. That's it. Now, and this is no hate or shade on the CSB Bible because that is a translation that I do like to read. I always have both translations open because one, the way things are worded helps me to better understand what's said in the other. However, something else that I have noticed is that with these different translations, the way they are divided is vastly different. Even the way that some verses are divided is vastly different. Read more than one version of the Bible and see what it looks like and see what can you find. And that causes confusion, misinterpretation, and misunderstanding.